Hello. So today is 9th March and this is day 6th of Communication Improvement Challenge. So today I have Indian Express newspaper and I'm on the Indian Express explained page. So there are two important articles here. One is India's rupees 10,000 crore AI, that is artificial intelligence mission, and another is Aadhaar and voter ID, why the election commission wants to amend election laws. So we'll read both the articles one by one. So let us start with the first article. What it says that government will subsidize private firms looking to set up intelligence computing capacity in India. This is among the most important elements of building a large AI system, as also one of the most difficult given the high cost. So India has made its first move to address a key shortcoming. It currently has an unlocking opportunity around generating artificial intelligence, that of computing hardware. On Thursday, the Union Cabinet approved India AI mission with an outlay of 10,372 crore for the next 5 years. Of course, that amount is in rupees, under which the government will allocate funds towards subsidizing private companies looking to set up the AI computing capacity in the country, among other things. While still a blueprint, the approval could spur investment in this sector, with private companies setting up data centers in the country and allowing startup access so they can test and build their generative AI models. Okay, so this is a benefit that startups such as Perplexity AI in the US have enjoyed for some time now, since they can tap into the computing capacity offered by companies like Nvidia. Computing capacity, or compute, is among the most important elements of building a large AI system. Apart from algorithmic innovation and data sets, it is one of the most difficult elements to procure for smaller businesses looking to train and build such AI systems, given the high cost. For example, Nvidia's A100 chip, considered to be the most cutting edge for AI application, cost around $10,000, which means that a data center of 10,000 such graphics processing unit could cost at least $100 million. That is more than $100 million will be around 800 crore. I think the figures are wrong. In an interview with the Indian Express earlier, Perplexity, Arvind Srinivas had highlighted the hardware related challenges that startups from India may face compared with their counterparts in the West. So, what is India's plan for setting up AI computing capacity? So, under the India AI mission, the government will look to establish a computing capacity of more than 10,000 GPUs. What is GPUs? Graphics processing unit. That cost, which one graphic processing unit cost around $10,000. So, India is looking to set up a capacity of more than 10,000 GPUs, and also help develop foundational models with a capacity of more than 100 billion parameters trained or data sets covering major Indian languages for priority sector like healthcare, agriculture, and governance. While the infrastructure is being set up, priority will be given to selecting the most advanced GPUs. The implementation of this AI compute infrastructure will be done through a public private partnership model with 50% viability gap funding. So, viability gap funding, one of the important key term here. If the compute prices come down, the private entity will have to add more compute capacity within the same budgeted amount to meet increased demand. Of the total outlay, rupees 4,564 crore has been earmarked for building computing infrastructure. Basically, there will be a tender inviting companies to set up data centers. When a company applies for, let's say, a center which may cost rupees 10,000 crore, they can seek a viability gap funding from the government for a certain amount of that, a senior official said. So, are the proposals beyond hardware? The cabinet has approved the financing by the government of deep tech startups at various levels of growth. Of the total outlay, roughly 2,000 crore rupees has been earmarked towards this. As part of the program, an India AI dataset platform will be set up, which will look at leveraging the quality, access, and use of non-personal datasets for AI innovation. The platform will be tasked with hosting identified high-quality AI-ready datasets. Together, these proposals cover two of the most crucial elements of building large language models the hardware, and access to high quality data sets. The government will also set up the India AI Innovation Research Center, which will undertake the development and deployment of large foundational models with focus on indigenous large multimodal models and domain specific foundational models. Close to rupees 2000 crore has been earmarked for this center. And there is a plan to financially support 4000 BTech, 400 MTech, and 600 PhD candidates who will focus on AI in premier educational institutions. How does this announcement fit in with the overall policy of this in this sector? The India AI mission announced came a week after the cabinet cleared chip projects worth rupees 1.26 lakh crore, including what could be the country's first commercial fabrication plant. So India has identified electronics manufacturing as a key economic driver, and the government is willing to spend money in the initial phase to get production rolling. This is a strategy that the European Union is following as well. To allay concerns over the over-regulation of AI, which could stifle innovation, the European Commission earlier this year released a set of rules to enable startups and other businesses to access hardware such as supercomputers and computing capacity to build large-scale AI models. So there is a important, I think, organization or say initiative also, Global Partnership for Artificial Intelligence, if I remember it correctly, GPAI, and India is one of the founding members of that organization or whatever group you say. But what about AI regulations and aspects of safety? Even as the private industry innovates rapidly, lawmakers around the world are grappling with setting up legislative guardrails around AI to contain some of its downsides. For example, in India, the IT Ministry recently issued an advisory to generate AI companies deploying untested systems to seek the government's permission before doing so. However, the government's move was criticized by stakeholders around the world, forcing it to clarify that the advisory was not applicable to startups. Questions have also been raised over the legal basis of this advisory. Last year, the European Union reached a deal with the member states on its AI Act, which includes safeguards on the use of AI within the EU, including clear guardrails on its adoption by law enforcing agencies. Consumers have been empowered to file complaints against any perceived violations. In the United States, a White House executive order on AI is being offered as an elaborate template that could become a blueprint for other countries looking to regulate AI. A blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights released last October is seen as a building block for the subsequent executive order. So this was about India's India AI mission. So now let us read another important article on the same page, which is related to Election Commission of India. The Election Commission of India is get its power from Article 324 of the Indian Constitution. So, coming on to the article, what it says that Election Commission of India recently approached the center proposing amendment to the Representation of People Act 1950 and voter enrollment forms to delete the provisions that compels a voter to provide reason for her decision not to seed her Aadhaar number with the voter ID. A proposal, however, is learned to have been turned down by the Union Law Ministry. The development comes as a recent petition in the Supreme Court highlighted that the form of registering electors do not make it clear that it is voluntary for an elector to link her Aadhaar with the voter ID. So this is important thing. It is an voluntary. When did the ECI decide to link Aadhaar with the voter IDs? In February 2015, then Chief Election Commissioner H.S. Brahma announced that the ECI would start a drive to link Aadhaar with the electoral roll database following the month. the following month. The aim of the drive was to remove bogus or duplicate entries from the electoral roll. Brahma clarified that the exercise would be voluntary. The drive, however, was stopped after the Supreme Court in August 2015 ruled that Aadhaar could only be used for government schemes for distribution of food grains, etc. So what has been the ECI's stand since? In 2018, the Apex Court upheld the constitutionality of Aadhaar and said the government could restrict the right to privacy if there is a specific law and if it is proportional to the state aim. The following year, ECI again proposed the linking of Aadhaar with the electoral roll, asking the government to amend election laws to enable the collection of Aadhaar details. The government then brought the Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021 to enable the linking of Aadhaar with voter IDs. Thereafter, the ECI restarted the collection of Aadhaar numbers from July 2022 on a voluntary basis. A new form, Form 6B, was introduced for existing electors to give their Aadhaar number, and Form 6 for new registrations was also amended. So, what was the latest petition in the Supreme Court? A Telangana Congress leader, G. Niranjan, moved the Supreme Court last year seeking direction to the ECI and the government to make amendment to the election laws to give an option to those who do not want to link their Aadhaar with their voter ID. So, Form 6B gives only two options, either provide the Aadhaar number or say one doesn't possess Aadhaar. Okay. So, this forces those who do not want to give their Aadhaar number into making a false declaration. So, what did the ECI propose and what was the government's stand? The ECI, in a letter to the Law Ministry in December, proposed amending the Representation of People Act 1950 to remove the requirement of a sufficient cause for not providing Aadhaar. It also asked the government to amend the registration forms that did not give an option to the individual who has Aadhaar but chooses not to furnish it. The ECI proposed amending the form's two option of either giving Aadhaar or saying you don't have one to a single line says Aadhaar number optional. The government, however, is believed to have rejected the amendment, saying clarification from the ECI would be enough. Okay, so this was about Aadhaar card, linking of Aadhaar card with the voter ID card. So that is also a news in transition. So that's all from today. We'll meet tomorrow.